Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? So I'm going to continue on doing the last of the muck spreading. I said I would do just a little tiny bit more. And before we go any further, a person who has been watching my channel for quite a while has made a very special request about this, because I said last week that I thought that this looked fantastic. The way that the manure is textured out onto the ground, it looks awesome. I thought it was great. And Grand Thumb is someone who's been watching me for a little while, and he sent me a little while ago, quite a while ago now actually, a file with, it was a save game file where he very carefully set up a controlled experiment to give us an indication of yields and financial rewards and so on from doing all the different crops and things like that. And I said I would try to get that information done in a very short video, so, you know, do a price comparison type video, you know, when I could. But unfortunately, I've just not had the time to be able to do it. And I sent him a message saying that, you know, I didn't know if I'd be able to or not. But unfortunately, I've just not had the time, and it's been quite a while since he sent me that save game file now. The information about the yields and everything is now out. Everybody, it is available for people to look at, as quite a few people have done the experiments now and sort of had a look at the various different financial rewards. And basically your results are that most of the crops are about the same. Root crops are fairly profitable, but they're quite costly to get into. And per hectare planted, root crops can be among the most profitable. However, they're not completely the most profitable. Actually, no, I think that root crops are among the most profitable ones to do, but because of the time and so on, it's difficult to do them, and they're also the handling of the quantity of them. You do have to handle quite a large quantity. For the other crops, they're all about the same, with wheat and barley being lower than the others, because a lot of people thought the beans was the most profitable. They're not. Beans and canola and sunflowers and corn, they're all about the same, with wheat and barley being a bit less. However, if you take the time to bale up and sell the straw, then wheat and barley become the most profitable crops to do. So generally, I think there is a good balance available. I think what we're going to do is we're going to empty this one out completely, so we'll just sort of drive around doing a last little bit of spreading as we go. So yeah, we know that wheat and barley are the most profitable if you do the straw as well. If you don't do the straw, then all the other crops are about the same, with the root crops being marginally more. And I'd really like to thank Grand Thumb for sending that to me. He has made a specific request that I state quite clearly. Not that I think the textures and everything look awesome, but he'd like me to say quite clearly that the poop looks awesome. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. As far as I'm concerned, the poop does look awesome. And that is for Grand Thumb and his son, his youngest son, Braden. So thank you very much for the time and effort that it took to create that save game file for me and to send it to me. I really do appreciate that, Grand Thumb and Braden, who do watch my videos very regularly. As a special shout out for you. Thank you very, very much. I really, really do appreciate everything that you have done. And also, while we're on the subject of quick shout outs, I was mentioning people who've been, you know, hopping into the comment section and making a comment, and I realised I haven't done that for quite a while. The one comment caught me in particular was on the last video of Sosnovka last week. Joel, now it's either Joel Gennard or Gennard, I think. I could be slightly wrong on that, but I think that's how it's pronounced. He said that he has also used one of those manure spinners that we've just finished using there, with the big beaters on the back, and when he used it, because, you know, I was saying that I had the stone come through the back window on my tractor. Apparently when he used it, the stone didn't just come through a back window of the tractor, apparently it walloped him in the back of the head. Fortunately, it was a small stone, so it didn't actually hurt him very much, but yeah, I feel your pain, and yeah, it struck me, not literally as it did him, but yeah, it's a very, very dangerous setup, those machines, the ones with the beaters that go all the way to the top, and you lift the gate up, and then you're just at the mercy of pure chance as to whether or not there is actually a stone in there. Right, I'm going to have to sort of manually help this through here, because when you lift the cultivator up with this tiny little Belarus, it doesn't quite clear the ground at all times, which is a little bit of a nuisance. So I'll just help it up through here. It's now cultivating in the manure. This is our very final week on this map. We are not going to be on this map any longer after this week. We've got these 3 episodes. Then next week we're moving to Water Valley. I am going to make sure that this map is uploaded onto FSUK so that anybody that wants to continue playing it may do so. I will remove the non-Mod Hub mods, and I'll try to make a list of the other mods that I've got in the save game file, and make sure that there is a list included in the description so that you can all sort of make sure you've got the right ones. But I just figured it would be easier if I don't put any external mods into it. Right, that one's doing quite nicely. My questions that I asked you last week, first off was the tractors. It was going to be one of 3 tractors. I just dropped my piece of paper. Hang on a second. Right, there we go. Right. Look at these 3 tractors here. It was 3 modded tractors, and we come up through great long list. One of them was the class Axion 900. One of them was the Fendt 900 Vario, and the final one was the John Deere 7030 Premium. 2,392 people answered that question. Let me get out of the way of this one. We're going to run this manure spinner now back to the main yard. Let the Belarus continue on with the cultivating up there. And this one will park up so that it'll be ready to use another time. We won't be using it, but if anybody does download the save game file, it's there available for you to use if you want to. So yes, we had 2,392 people answer the question about the tractors. 448 wanted the John Deere. And a few of you are quite impassioned about it should be the John Deere because it's 200 horsepower, which is more than enough to run a grass-based farm. And yes, I sort of agree with you in part, but I still think that there are situations that would demand a more powerful tractor than that, because the machinery that is made these days requires more power. It used to be that you'd run a farm with a 60 or 70 horsepower tractor as your big tractor, and that was it, and you could still run a large farm with that and the necessary machinery, but now that machinery requires more power, so on and so forth. So yes, we may look at getting the John Deere another time, but not today. Then we had 834 people wanted us to use the class Axion, and finally 1,110 people wanted us to use the Fendt 900. Now, I thought that was actually fairly close. There's only 300, there's less than 300 votes in it. 800 for the class and 1,100 for the Fendt. So we are going to be starting out the map with the Fendt 900. However, I think that we will certainly consider getting the class Axion either on that map or another one fairly soon, because quite a lot of people wanted us to use that tractor rather than the Fendt. So yeah, we definitely haven't ruled that one out at all in any way. I think that is ripe for consideration. Now then, we've finished doing the muck spreading, and I've had a request from one person, I'm sorry I can't remember your name at the moment, for just a 2-wheel trailer, one with one wheel each side at the very back, because it's like a trailer that they use, or their parents use, I can't remember which, but yeah, so maybe we could take a look at that. I don't think that we've got one available. We got that one there, the Brantner, that's one of them, and most of these other trailers have got multiple wheels on the back. Even the smaller packs have got them. Oh, there's one there. We've got the Joskin Trans Space, and any others? No, they're all dual axles. So we got the Joskin Trans Space there, 16,500 wheel setup, wide tires, design with a loading wall or standard, and we could lease that one, but that one's quite expensive, 16.5 grand. And what's this one here? This one's 9,800. I think we'll go for this one. And if I select that one, I can't change it now, but 784. Right, well, as this is going to be probably our last machine that we can get in purple, we'll get this one in purple. So we'll lease that one for $800. Dollars? No, I'm so sorry. We're not dollars. We're supposed to be, hang on. There, and we want kilometers and we want euros. There we go. And while we're having a look, we've run out of straw and power food for the cattle. I'm not actually going to worry about those for now. There is the materials here, so anybody that takes over the map, you do have some hay and silage here at the yard. You can do that with. There isn't any straw at the moment, but there will be before we finish this series. The pigs have got enough food for carrying on with for the moment, but we might actually want to get them some more. We could sell 8 pigs at the moment. Yeah, so let's take this tractor up to the dealership and we'll take a look at that trailer. Not quite sure what we're going to use it for. Oh, I know what we could do. We could... actually, no, I don't think we'll be able to do that even. I was thinking that maybe we could get some pig food and stick it in the trailer, but we're not going to be able to do that because we don't have a loader up there. We'd have to get the Kramer and drag that over. Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could get the Kramer over there and we could buy a little bit more pig food and tip it in. We'll see. We'll see. Oop, I need to have my beacons on. Right, while we're going up there, I also asked you last week how much money you wanted me to go to New Zealand with. How much money we should start in Water Valley. Should it be 200,000 New Zealand dollars, 400,000, 600, 800, or $1 million New Zealand dollars? Now, 2,466 people answered this one. 200,000 was 140 people. 400,000 was 103. 600,000 was 168. 800,000 was 130, and then 1,925 want me to start with $1 million. Now, a few people have said, well, hang on a minute, that's all well and good, but do you actually have $1 million spare? Or, you know, your million euros, which would then translate to $1 million in New Zealand. Do you have that much money available? Because remember, we got $1 million on this map that we sort of added in so that we could get a whole load of extra things. We're supposed to remove that million, because we were simulating getting the gold nuggets, weren't we? And we're supposed to remove that million before we go. We're not supposed to have an extra million here. And I was having a look, and if you take a look at all of our machinery, well, we'll ignore the machinery for a minute. Oop. Stop that. There we go. Right, cleanliness is down to 0%. I am wondering if perhaps we should get a robot set up down there. No, I don't think we will. I think we'll leave that. So, yes, we have 400 pigs. That is a lot of pigs. And 400 pigs, if you sell them direct, you would get 400,000 euros for them. If you assume that we would want to be able to buy these pigs somewhere else, and we just take the money that we've put into them, or the money that is potentially in those, pigs are $3,000 each, or 3,000 euros each here on this map. So if they're 3,000 euros each and we got 400 of them, that is actually 1.2 million. And that is what I would assume put them at. The machinery, I've gone through and I've added up in the garage what we've got. And is it going to work? There we go. So I've added up in the garage everything that we've got. And there's quite a lot of machines in here that are worth more than you think. We've got like 9, 87, 29, 89, 18, and like that one, even that trailer is $11,000. Euros rather, and 36, 23. See, there's lots of these 34, 18. There's loads of these that are worth more than I actually thought they were when I was initially looking at it. And you know, you go all the way through, and yeah, there's loads of them. So we've got all of this machinery that we own that's actually worth quite a bit. And I added it all up. I only did a rough addition of it all. I didn't calculate it exactly, but I think we've got in the region of 900,000 euros if we sell it direct at the garage. Just direct, you know, straight through the interface there. If we were to drive it to the garage to sell it, you get, I think it's an additional 20%, is it? So we get over $1 million for all of the machinery that we've got on the map. Over €1 million for all the machinery that we've got on the map. Plus 1.2 million euros for all of the pigs, not to mention the other animals. And we've also got all the land that we've got around. So I think that we could comfortably say that our total value here on this farm is at least 3 million euros. So 3 million euros will knock $1 million off because of the million that we added to it to simulate getting the million, you know, finding the gold nuggets. So we take $1 million off. That leaves us with 2 million. And if we go here and we want to go to finance, we have 300,000 in loan. So we'll take the 300,000 loan out. That leaves us then with 1.7 million. We buy a tractor. The Fendt Vario is going to cost us... actually, I need to look at it in here, don't I? So the Fendt Vario, that one, we're going to do that to maximum upgrade. And there we go here, and we go engine set up to as big as we can. That's the 390 horsepower. Main colour... Ooh, we can have a blue one. Because blue is our colour. If we can do blue, we have to do blue. That is our rule. So we'll keep the red design there. We'll set up crawler tracks. I didn't even know we could do that. Twin wheels, rear wheel dual, wide tyre with weight, wide tyres, wheel weight, standard. Well, we'll stick with standard for now. Design, black parts, chrome parts. Wow. Okay, so anyway, that's 319,000 euros, which would still leave us with 1.4 million euros after getting that tractor. And we're going to take 1 million of it with us, and we'll leave the other 400,000 because, you know, we'll assume that the 400,000 is roughly what the new farm is going to cost us. And I know that those numbers aren't exact. Right, what am I looking? I'm looking for this. I was gonna run a little bit of grain up there. I think we'll go for a bit of corn, just so that I can use this little two-wheel trailer as per the request that we had. There we go. Right, so we'll run this one up, and we'll put the corn in for the pigs. So there we go. We've got a little two-wheel trailer, and running along, it's looking very nice. And yeah, so I was actually quite surprised. There's not very many two-wheel trailers at all. But I hope that that's kind of settled the issue for how much money. I know that I said we would, because we weren't taking quite as much with us, because we got all the land in Watea Valley and not some of it, we're only leaving $400,000 behind. Technically, I suppose we should be leaving a bit more than that, and maybe I should have given you a maximum amount. I should have given it like 100 up to $500,000 instead of going up to $1 million. But that $1 million is going to let us buy some pretty cool machinery. We'll be able to buy our own forager, that sort of thing, and hopefully it will sort of keep things interesting. So that's what we're going to take with us. We're off to Watea Valley next week. We'll run this up to the pigs, and then I'm just wondering what else we should do. I think actually we will wait for the grain to be ripe and ready to start harvest. We're not going to start... I don't even need... Or am I indicating? I don't need to. We're not going to start harvesting the corn. We're going to get started harvesting the wheat. Now today we're just going to set the combine up and we're going to get going with that. Tomorrow I'm going to try something a little different with the combine that someone suggested to me that I thought actually be a pretty cool thing to try. Not very realistic, but it is, I thought it would be quite amusing and quite fun to try. So we're going to do that in just a minute. So let's just tip this this corn out here for the pigs, and we'll sell a couple of them because we've got a few that we can sell. Actually, no, we won't sell any just yet. Oops, unhitched. I'm still used to FS15 where you press the same button as for unhitching as you do for tipping, whereas here in this one it's a different button. I've been playing this game now for 6 months, and I'm still making that same mistake where I'm pressing the same the hitching button for it. Right, let's let that one close down. Ooh, my question for next week. Now, I've only got one question for next week, and you know what? I think I'm actually just going to wait. I'm going to wait for the grain to be ready to harvest, and then I will ask you my question for next week. We are starting to run out of time, but we want to get a move on, I think. So I will see you in a minute. Right then, we have grain ready to harvest. The field there is ready. That one's got a little strip in front of it that's not quite ready. That field is wheat, and that field is wheat. So we're going to start combining field 25. And by the time we get through that one, hopefully field 19 will be ready. We may not get to any of the other fields before we leave. They'll be able to be carried on. I don't really feel that you should wrap everything up and have all your fields harvested and done before you leave a farm, because obviously if you're selling a farm, you'd be selling your crops that are planted to the next person. So while we waited for that to harvest, to ripen rather, we now have 423 pigs. And if we go through here, we've still got some food, but food is getting a bit precarious for the pigs, so we may bring a little bit more up for them. We've got 2 trailers hitched together down the bottom. We could stick some... Well, we're about to harvest some wheat, so we could do that, or we could use some of this money to buy some more pig food. Not quite sure. I'm thinking that we'll stop buying pig food for now, because what I'd like to do... let's sell the pigs. What I'd like to do is on another map sometime, I'd like to basically get up to like 400 or 500 pigs, and then, after we get them to that level, we will no longer put any grain that we get from the farm into the pig food. We'll put straw in for... Actually, no, we won't put straw in either. Remember I was talking about this? We'll buy the bales of straw for the pigs, and we will buy in all the pig food. So any grain or anything we do through an arable side of production, that will get put elsewhere. It will not go in for the pigs. And by doing it like that, we can sort of really see if pigs can actually be profitable by buying in everything for them. I think that would be a really cool experiment to do. I quite enjoy doing something like that. That would be very enjoyable for me. I would particularly enjoy doing it. I don't know if we're going to do that today, though. No, what we want to do today is I'm going to go over, I'm going to get the New Holland, and I'm going to get it into the field. And I think we will use this tractor, because this is going to be the last that we see of the Zeta for quite some time. We won't be using it on another map. Well, I'm going to try and sort of get through all of the tractors that are available, so we take a good look at all of them. And as we've used the Zeta a lot here, there won't be a use for it elsewhere until, you know, we've gone through all the others, and then we'll see. Who knows? So it's probably the last time we see it for a while. Anyway, I'm going to get over the field and get ready to start cutting. I have the New Holland combine ready, and I'll just unfold the New Holland itself. Just wondering if we can start from this side. Kind of hoping that we could. So if we start from here, and we'll start heading up across the field. I am very curious to see if we're actually going to get from one end of the field to the other before the grain tank actually fills up. So I'm just going to press H. I'll let it do it all itself. Oh, actually, no, I need to stop that a second. Just come back. Let's see what it does. And it shredded it. We don't want to shred it. We need to keep the straw, don't we? So there, I've disengaged the straw choppers. It should be okay now. And well, there we go. Right, so we have straw piling up on the ground. So my question for this week, I'm finally going to get to it, despite the fact we are nearly at the end of the episode. The last question, this is quite an important one, so I'm not going to do two questions like I've done the last couple of weeks. In Water Valley, how would you like me to do the leasing and buying of equipment? Now, this is quite an important one. Some people really, really hate the idea of leasing anything. Other people seem to think that leasing is a really good idea and you should lease as much as you can. And then, yeah, and we sort of have people in between. I'm just going to stop a second and raise up that reel on the front, because that is absolutely horrific driving along with it like that. So let's start that again. There we go. And now we can carry on once more. That's better. The reel is up where it's supposed to be. We shouldn't have it down in the ground like that. Right. So I'm going to give you 3 options for Water Valley. And I sort of said that we were quite flexible on this one and flexible on Goldcrest. But what we decide here for Water Valley is what is going to stick. And I want you to think about this carefully, because we don't have the option in Water Valley to go and do contracting jobs for someone else to earn money. Because we own all the fields, there are no contracting jobs available. So the only money we can earn is what we earn from the farm itself. And with that in mind, you've got 3 options. I will buy everything that we use on the map, is option 1. Option 2, we'll do it like we're doing in Goldcrest Valley. I will lease everything that we get on the map apart from drivable machines, and I'm going to sort of add a little bit to that. We will lease everything, including small drivable machines, but if I think that a machine that we can actually drive the leasing costs are going to be too high, then we will buy it. Then we will possibly buy it. Even then, it's not guaranteed. If it's just going to be like a one-off use, say like a tree harvester or something like that, again, we may not even buy it. Then we could lease. So we'll stick to almost always leasing, apart from a few of the drivable machines like the tractors and that. Those are ones that we will actually own. Or option 3, I will buy machines when I can afford it. I won't buy machines all the time, but when I can afford to buy them, I will buy them. If it's going to be a one-off, or we just want to try the machine out and see how it works, or if we don't necessarily have enough money there and then we will lease the machine with a view to buying it a little bit later on if we decide that we quite like it and we want to keep it. So those are your three options. Do we buy everything rigidly and never lease anything at all whatsoever? Do we lease pretty much everything, but we've already found from our Goldcrest experience that we cannot lease everything and still remain in profit. It just gets too expensive leasing the bigger tractors. So we will have to buy a few things. Or do we just do a mixture and sort of use common sense? If we can afford it, we buy it. But if we can't afford it, we can lease it and then we can keep everything moving along. Personally, now I am going to try to influence this one. I'm really going to try and influence this one. I'm asking you, please, can you pick option 3? Because I like the idea of buying everything, but at the same time, I do want to keep things moving. I don't have any option to go and do some extra jobs off screen, so it could potentially get us a bit of a bottleneck and make the series quite dull and boring if I've just got to work with buying everything and we're doing a job and we want to get some machinery or we want to upgrade or something we can't afford to buy. I'm then stuck and I've either got to do hours and hours of the work off screen, which kind of defeats the whole point, I think, of doing the Let's Play, or I've got to cheat the money in. I've got to do it on screen, or I've got to cheat the money in. And for me, that spoils the experience of the whole Let's Play idea. I'm supposed to be, I feel, with a Let's Play, showing you all these different types of machinery and all the different things that the game is capable of doing, and I cannot do that if I'm limited to being forced to buy everything. I'm giving you the option because if there are enough people that definitely want me to try and buy everything, then that's what I'm going to do, and I will find a way to do it, one way or another. I feel it may impact on the quality of the Let's Plays. So I am asking you very, very nicely, please pick either option 2, like we're doing in Goldcrest, or option 3. I would prefer option 3. Buy when I can, but I will lease sometimes. Anyways, it's your vote and it's your game. So whatever you guys decide, and you know by now that I have asked you previously if you would please do one or another, and you've gone completely a different way to what I originally wanted. And I go with that because it is your vote and it is your game. I play this game for you. Some people said, well, it's not really your game. It's my game here. It's Frithgar's game because I'm the one that's playing it. Well, sort of, but, I'm still saying it's your game because I do what you want me to do, even if it's not my first option. So there we have it. And I'm including an option here that I really don't want to be tied down to on this next Let's Play, which is buy everything. I really, really don't want to be tied to that because of how difficult it could potentially be not having any contracting jobs that we can resort to. So there you have it. It's all in your hands. I'm leaving it up to you. You, the people. You have the vote. You have the power. And it's up to you. So we have just about run out of time. I don't think there's any point in repeating that question because we've run out of time, and we'll do... I'll do it twice tomorrow. If there's anything that you would really, really like to see in my last episode of this week, then let me know in the comments section. Again, thank you very much to Grand Thumb for taking all the time and effort to produce that map that you sent to me. I'm sorry that I didn't actually get to use it. I don't think it's something I'm going to be able to do, but I hope that telling you and Braden that the poop looks awesome kind of makes up for it a bit. At least that's what I'm hoping so. And yes, I will try to remember to write down some names and give people shout outs in the episodes, because I know you really like that. And I haven't been doing it very much lately, and it's a little bit remiss of me. I should have been doing it more, so I apologise for that. And I will try to make mention of people if you have interesting and funny stories or anecdotes or anything like that. Yeah, so we'll see. And tomorrow, I'm going to try something that I've had a few people suggest a little while ago that I haven't actually done yet. I think it could be very cool. It's going to look a little bit weird. It's going to involve leasing another piece of machinery. But it could be, at the same time, it could also be a lot of fun. I think what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to take this one over. I'm going to hitch on the other 2 trailers that we've got in the yard, and I'm going to run a 3-trailer road train up to the pigs first thing tomorrow. I'll have some grain in the trailers ready. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'll let that combine run a little bit longer first. Let me just spin right round again, and I'll fill this trailer right up with wheat, So that'll just keep the pigs going for a little bit longer. Hopefully it'll be enough to see them through overnight. So we'll let the combine run up through there. But yeah, anyway, we'll get to this tomorrow. If you've enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give this a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.